I mean, I experienced it myself. We're going in the wrong direction in our life and we know we need to veer, but what do we do about it? And she just seems like that kind of a person that she seems so like almost lost, and she needs to find herself. And that's really, really attractive for me as an actor, to try to portray that.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Andrew Jacob Brown with Confound Productions, and this is Actors on After, and I'm here with Cami Miles. Say hello, Cami.
Hi.
Thanks for taking the time to join me. So I usually don't waste any time. I'm just going to jump right in, and I'm going to bug you with a lot of questions, and we're just going to have some fun, and you're going to tell the audience about you. So this is about you, and I would like to know how did you get into acting? Tell me, I know a little bit about your background, but I want you to tell the audience about your military, how you transitioned, and please open up. Start anywhere you'd like. We want to know about you.
Well, the first play I ever did was in elementary school, and I was actually the Wicked Witch of the West. And it's funny because we did The Wizard of Oz again later in middle school, and I also was cast as the Wicked Witch of the West again. So apparently I'm good with evil people. I don't know.
Yeah, but those are great roles. I like the bad guy roles and the evil roles.
Yes.
So that's cool. Keep going.
And then I've always kind of been interested in the acting and the modeling things, but unfortunately, I fell to the side of the house where people were just like, oh, it's not a good, consistent job. Like, you need to get a real job. So I went the college route, and I actually have my degree in forensic investigation, and I was a forensic scientist for a few years. And then I transitioned into the military after that. So I was in the military for about 10 years, and I just got out at the end of June, and I chose to leave because I think I wasn't passionate about it anymore. I was missing something in my life, and I think the storytelling aspect is something that's kind of always been a part of who I am. And not feeding that passion, I think, was really starting to kind of drive me the wrong way in my life. So about a year ago, I was still in the military. I actually hired an acting coach, and I've been working one-on-one with him. I got my headshots. I did a bunch of practice things he's been teaching me. I've really surprisingly done extremely well. I'm very thankful and very humbled. I've got out of the Army at the end of June, and I've just been on all kinds of different projects already. It's amazing how fast it's taking off.
I like your headshots, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've definitely, as they would say in Hunger Games, the lady on fire.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you for your service. I will say that again. I'm a huge military fan. I have family in every branch. My brother-in-law just retired from the Air Force, and but I do appreciate you. And I never served, so I can't imagine. You're in it 10 years, and you just said, it's time to move on. Time to do something different, and I respect that. I was going to ask you. I had Rick Bickle on, who's playing Chief Olive in After. He's playing a police chief, and he's an actual police officer.
Oh, nice.
And him and I were talking. He said he was making some great points about how the stuff they show on TV, when they arrest people on these cop shows, he's like, that would never happen. This wouldn't happen. And yep. I brought you up in the interview. I said, hey, I can't wait to get Cami Miles on here because she did forensic stuff. And she has a background in forensics, and she watches all those shows like Bones and stuff. And so, if you wouldn't mind, I won't stray from what your acting career, but I wanted to ask you about that. So do you catch that stuff all the time? Like, hey, this is wrong in CSI or stuff like that?
I do. It's so hard for me to watch sometimes because it's just so inaccurate. Like when people walk onto a scene and then all of a sudden they just know everything that happened. And I'm like, that takes months to figure that out. Sure. But, and I'm sure that, Rick can probably agree, but even just the way that they do like some of the crime scene processing stuff is just like, it's Hollywood. Yeah. So it's very glorified and it's a very messy job. And it's not as easy as it seems because there's a lot of tiny intricacies that go into crime scene work and laboratory work. And they just kind of skip all of that because they want to go straight to the drama. Yeah. So it's kind of glorified, not in the best light sometimes. So they're not really showing everything that actually happens. But I will say that Dexter, he's a blood spatter analyst, and the work that he does and how he does it is actually fairly accurate. So I will give him that. Minus the serial killer part. Let's not be doing that.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess they're revamping that one, Dexter.
They are, yeah.
I don't know him personally, but Tom acts. He does acting classes with the guy that plays Dexter's son.
Oh, nice.
Jack Alcott or Alcott. I can't remember. I think I'm saying his name right. Anywho, I had heard about that, and he's getting ready to go film for 6 months on Dexter, and I'm like, you lucky dog.
That is awesome.
TV series, So I appreciate you and Rick calling out the things that aren't real, and that's so hard because the audience is, as being an audience, we just watch it and go, okay, dismissed, moving on. We don't stay on that train.
Like, but this happened in CSI, so this has to be real, and it's like, no. No.
We're all critics today. I don't know if we can ever win the audience over.
Right.
100%. But wow. So military. Now, did you ever get a job doing anything in forensics or anything like that?
I did. I was a forensic scientist for about 3 years, actually, before the military. And my primary job, I was working out of a laboratory, and I was like a fingerprint analyst. So we would get items. I can't really talk too much about it, but we would get certain things, cases, and I would have to open up these cases and try to find fingerprints. And if there was like any other sort of biological matter or anything like that, that would have to go to someone else. But my primary job was finding the fingerprints and making sure that they were visible so that they could be photographed and sent into the automated fingerprint identification system. So. Yeah. A lot of words, but
a lot of words. We're all gone.
Yeah.
But you are a ball of talent. You have a lot of stuff in your arsenal. I mean, military background. And then coming out of that, I caught a video on Instagram because I spied on you. That's what I No, but you've done some stunt training.
I have, yes.
You took a couple classes for stunt training, and listen, I told Randall Oliver because he did some stunt training too. And I said, dude, I'm scared of heights. So tell me about that. Like, how was that? Is that fun stuff or what? Because you're already in the military. You get 10 years of military experience. I'd love your take on doing some of that stunt stuff that you did.
I mean, it was a lot of fun because some of the stuff we kind of learned as far as like combatives go. So I kind of already understood like how to react to certain movements. Which really helped. And then I already know how to fire a weapon and hold it properly and how to move tactically. So he used me as an example for a couple of his classes, which was kind of fun. But jumping from the height, that was a little scary for me too, because you had to jump from a 1-story, 2-story, 3-story. And the 3-story was a little scary, but I mean, you land on a big cushioned, like blow up thing. And it's a real soft thing.
That feeling of falling. I hate it.
Yeah,
I'm such a baby. I can do martial arts. I can do stunts. I can jump off walls. I can do crazy stuff, parkour. Mm-hmm. I cannot jump off buildings. I'm scared. So you're a tough nut.
It took some courage for sure, but I did it. It took me a little while to get the movement right. So it's that what you saw on the video on Instagram is not my first try. Okay. So definitely didn't come naturally.
I think that's great though. And I'm actually excited to have people like Rick and people like you who know how to hold a weapon properly and stuff like that. Cause that stuff actually will help out when we have that stuff on set, because we have a few scenes where we're using guns and we want people to look right on screen, and that always helps out. So that'll be beneficial. And feel free to school us all if we're all doing something wrong. Say, hey, what's he doing? Like you tell us.
As long as you're not pointing the weapon at me and you're pointing at the ground and away, I'll be happy. So yeah.
Exactly. So you got right out of the military, and you knew what you were doing. It's not like you left the military and was like, what do I do now? Like, I think from what you were telling me, am I right on that? You got out knowing what you were going to do, getting into acting.
Yep.
And you dived right in.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've been doing some films. I saw, at least on your Facebook, like you're like, hey, I got a couple of projects coming up, and we had to schedule this interview around it. So maybe not sharing about what they're about, but can you share some of the stuff you've been doing lately? Anything?
Yeah. So one project I did a couple weeks ago, it's actually an international feature film. I will be playing a doctor, like a small supporting role. It's like 2 scenes. But the lead actor, both of them, the lead male and female, are both like really popular celebrities actually in India. And this is the director's first American film. So he's done some really big stuff. It's called Phani, Phani. It means snake in Indian.
Oh, okay.
In Sanskrit, I apologize. I don't know what the actual language would be called.
Hey, that's okay.
But it was really amazing to be able to work with them because they're very seasoned actors. And so it was really nice to just talk to them and kind of get their advice and their view on things and how their career got started too. I just got back from Colorado. That was a photo shoot for the Veterans Affairs Office. They're doing a mental health campaign in about 6 months. Nice. So they asked me to be part of that. So I'll be part of some of their ads on social media and on their VA.gov website. So it's, watch out in a few months for that.
Okay. All right. You let us know.
And then everything else I've got into, they're not filming until 2025, and there's 3 projects in 2025 I'm doing so far. So
wow,
yeah.
When you talk about take off,
I took off.
Did you? Well, I mean, makes you don't have to answer. I was going to ask you, where did you find them on casting sites and audition and land these roles? Did somebody recommend you? How'd you land some of these roles?
A couple of them were recommended to me. I do know some people in the industry, so it sadly is about kind of who you know.
Listen, that's why I asked you that question. Don't be ashamed of that, because that's at the same time I kind of teach the audience that it is that. Networking is a lot of it, and and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you land a role by audition. A lot of it has to do with who you know in the industry and getting out there and connecting. And if you're doing that already, you're already ahead of the game. So that is awesome. You were a cast for AJ in the After series. Now, AJ we can't really talk a whole lot about her because she is a mysterious character. And she's mysterious for a reason, because we wanted the audience. I wrote it. I want the audience to say, hey, is she important? Is she not important? Why is it a little mysterious? Who is she? And then it gets unveiled, and we're going to find out there's more that meets the eye with this character. And that made it a little tough for me to cast for this character, and I can't give away reasons why, but a lot of it had to do with family members and matching actors to the characters, as far as being related to each other. So, but finding you, AJ was and I feel like I have a broken record because I've said this about every character, but AJ was really one of those ones that was a hard one to cast for. And I even had friends that were trying to get in, that I knew, that I'd worked with previously, that were trying to get in for this role. And it was like, it's all about not just the performance, but looking the part too. And I couldn't mesh. But here you come along, and prior to that, you did an audition for Wendy, and there was something about you in the Wendy audition where I was like, I'm like, you didn't quite fit maybe the look I was going for. The audition was not bad, although that was one of the toughest sides to read for, was Wendy, because there's 8 people in the scene, and I won't get into that. But then I turned around and put you through the ringer, and I asked you to audition for Ren.
Yeah.
And then you auditioned for Ren, which I thought you did a pretty good job. And so here I am going, this gal is fresh out of the military, and we'd already had a Zoom at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, not a whole lot of acting experience, at least on record, not talking about your plays and other things you've done. But there was something about you. I loved your hard work ethic. You were coming in with a passion and a drive. And that speaks volumes. And so I thought, you know, I really like this gal. And I'm like, I'm going to give her another audition for AJ. And at this point, I thought, she's going to hate me. You do this AJ audition, and I'm like, yes. I'm saying yes. And that's a risk, because I'm thinking she did good on the last 2. Maybe this is the one she drops the ball on. Mm-hmm. And you didn't. And so I see something special in you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And so I wanted to ask your take, Cammie. Mm-hmm. I know you can't really talk about the character much because she's mysterious, but maybe tell me a little bit about what you're excited for playing AJ and being in the After series.
Well, even like reading more into her character after doing Wendy and Ren, that everybody just seems so interesting. But with AJ, I like the mystery of her. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what draws me to her, because everyone has secrets. And I think she's kind of the person that, like, she still needs to kind of discover who she is, because she kind of gets in with the wrong people. And we just don't really know much about her as a character, but that draws me to her, because we all have those moments in our lives where I experienced it myself. We're going in the wrong direction in our life, and we know we need to veer, but what do we do about it? And she just seems like that kind of a person, that she seems so like almost lost, and she needs to find herself. And that's really, really attractive for me as an actor, to try to portray that. So.
Oh, that's exciting. I like the way you described that. That was great. I'm thinking, yes, I'm digging deep into this, and that's exactly right. Good. I'm glad you're connecting with that, because that's going to play into everything. And I just wish I could say more stuff, but I can't.
I know.
Gotta be quiet. And, well, what are you excited about, like, playing, just being in the After series in general? Like I know you're kind of coming in and you're landing roles left and right, and I don't, and this is going to be a series that we plan on going the distance with. It's just taking a little time, but I'd love to hear your take on just coming in to a series and with the unknown. But what is your, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm a big post-apocalyptic fan. We've discussed this in the past.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so that was very attractive to me. I'm a big fan of that genre. So I like the dystopian stuff too. So, but in general, I think one of the bigger things that kind of attracted me to it was after I had met you, because you meet a lot of people in the industry who are not as passionate about their project as you are. And I mean that genuinely. You meet people that they just want to make money. They want to be famous. They want this, they want that. But with you actually have a message that you want to portray. You want people to feel a connection. You want people to actually like get something from this. And to me, that draws me more and more to it. So like, even after I didn't get Wendy and I didn't get Ren, I'm like, man, I really want to be part of this. Like, this just seems like such a cool project to be a part of. And I would love to be involved in something that could reach so many people. So I'm very thankful and humbled that you ultimately did choose me in the end for it. So I'm just excited. I'm just excited overall to be a part of it. So I thank you very much. Yeah.
And thank you for saying all that. I because money is not my passion anymore. I mean, Mom, we all need money. I'd love some money, and I hope I get some money down the road. But But I mean, that's not, if I'm doing this for money, then man, I'm in trouble. Like, this isn't gonna, we're gonna be disappointed a lot in our life if we're trying to do this acting thing for money. And we can get into the weeds on that at this industry, but I won't. But I do appreciate you saying that, and I'm very happy to have you. And your drive is contagious, and I think you're going to bring that. I think you're going to bring it, and I'm excited. I was going to say, do you know any of the other cast members at all? Have you met any of them, or?
I haven't met any of them. Okay. No. I did look up a couple of them just to see kind of what they've done. Like Black Panther, I think I forgot his name.
Leonard Freeney, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I saw like someone had like a small role in Twisters that came out.
Mm-hmm. That was Austin. Yeah, Austin.
Yeah, so you got a big cast. I was
we got a few people.
Intimidated.
Austin actually lives in Texas.
Nice.
He lives you're in Texas, right? I want to make sure I got that right.
I am, yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he's in your neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So I have so many things I was going to ask you, but what was you mentioned apocalyptic stories, and I'm a huge fan of apocalyptic stories. Do you have any favorites, maybe movies or TV shows that you like?
I actually really like The 100.
Hey, I watched I think I got 4 seasons in, then I got disrupted and never went back to it.
Oh, yeah.
But that was good for a while. I mean, it was a great concept. I felt like it was like the next best thing from Lost, but the way they did it was so different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that one.
I'm also like into kind of more like the futuristic ones too. So kind of like Blade Runner. I like a lot of sci-fi in general. So yeah.
Now, without giving me any spoilers, in case I go back to it, did they end the 100 good, or did they leave you hanging? Because how many seasons with that?
I mean, it's an okay ending. I think they could have. I don't want to spoil anything, but
I could have spent more time on it. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's almost like I feel like that they kind of just ran out of steam, and they just ended it. That's how I feel, but other people loved it. Some people feel the same about me, but yeah. So,
wow. So I was gonna say, because you've been on Fire. You landed 3 roles. Since you're let me ask you this: is there a dream role for you? Is there a dream role? Do you have a certain type of character that you'd love to play, and maybe you haven't even had an opportunity at that yet? What kind of character would that be?
I would really like to play a character like your typical tough girl character, I guess. But I really love the Hunger Games, and so Jennifer Lawrence, like a character like that, would be kind of like dream role. Someone who's very, very confident, very straightforward, and comfortable in their own skin, and just ready to take on the world. So. I
could totally see you playing a role like that.
Yeah,
almost identical to that.
Yay!
And I don't even know why. I mean, it's kind of funny how like I brought that up in the beginning. I said you're the lady on fire. Mm-hmm. I didn't mean it that way, but I mean, here now you're talking about that. Yep. I could totally see you playing a Katniss Everdeen kind of role.
Nice. Well, that makes me happy.
Yeah. No.
I haven't really been typecast. All the stuff I've been getting has kind of been like different. Like everything's been different, which is good, I think. So yeah.
That's tricky. That could take a while. Typecast. Your headshots are great. I mean, when I saw some of the clips that you had, you were trying different things. I think one was a teacher, like a vigilante was another one. I mean, you were trying different things. And, maybe you're just in the character actor realm. Who knows? But you already got cast as a doctor, so
yes, yeah.
Maybe those Brainiac roles are for you too. I would say, Cammie, to tell you this, just if you do get typecast, run for it. Go right into it. Take advantage of it. Grab those roles, because that's what gets you work. And some people think the opposite. Like, I don't want to be typecast. You have to take those if you get typecast.
Yes, I'm taking every opportunity that comes my way. And I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people, they're like, oh, I don't want that kind of role. I'm just going to push that off to the side. I'm taking everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, what do you really love about acting in itself?
I can explore. So it's funny. Someone just asked me this the other day, but it really helps me truly explore myself. Because I feel that every character that you play, you have to have a little bit of an aspect of yourself in it. And there are parts of me that maybe I didn't know about myself that I'm slowly finding that I'm capable of doing, or I didn't know I had that kind of a personality. And I have, different interests too, which helps. So it allows me to fully explore who I am. So that's what I really love about acting.
Man, I think that's the truth right there.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that. I was telling, I think it was Tom Mulligan, I think, plays Walter. Him and I talk a lot. I think it was him. We were talking about this exact thing, and I feel the same. You're playing a character. It's like an extension of you.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be you, but it's an extension of you. When you're playing this mob boss, and you're an angry guy or whatever it is in your marriage, it's an extension of what you know of yourself, and I would agree with that. But you like that. Now, for me, I like to disappear in roles because it's not you, right? Sometimes your life things are more interesting when you're playing somebody else. Have you ever heard that?
Yep.
I don't know if you feel that same way, but.
Well, being able to play pretend for a living is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. The for a living part is the hard part of it.
It is.
For a living.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it sure is awesome, and you are in a great place now that you're out of the military, and you're doing good, and you're landing roles, and gosh, that's awesome. Do you have a lot of family in Texas area there where you live?
I don't. So I'm actually originally from Wisconsin, and
that's right.
Yep. So my family's up in Wisconsin. My fiance's family's from Pennsylvania, so it's just me and my fiance and our 2 dogs and cat. So
2 dogs and cat. Now, okay, you just opened up a can of worms. So when's the wedding date?
Well, it's still undecided just because things are very expensive around here. But we're aiming for spring 2025. We found a few venues that we really, really like. One of them is not too expensive, but it's a DIY venue. So you pay for the venue, but you have to do everything else. So we're like, we don't know yet, but.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so my daughter is getting married as well. Mm-hmm. And she will be turning 19 around this time, but it's also in spring. May is the wedding date. Mm-hmm. They just grabbed a venue, and I'm not too savvy on this part, but you said DIY. So with her, she got one of those venues where you get all the stuff with it. Does that make sense? Is that what you're trying to say? Don't get? Is that what you're saying? Because they get the tables, they get the all the stuff that goes with it to make life easier for you, so you don't have to set up. Is that what you're saying? DIY doesn't have that. It's just the venue itself.
So the venue has like tables and chairs. It has like the very basic things that you need, but you have to set up everything else yourself. All the decorations you have to do yourself.
Right. Okay.
Like all of that. Yeah. So.
Is it outrageous?
I mean, it wasn't awful, but comparatively, it was one of the cheaper ones we could find for like a nicer area.
For a nicer area.
So, yeah.
Isn't it? It's so tough.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But that's exciting. So are you getting married in Texas or Wisconsin?
We're going to probably do it in Texas just because I have family in Albuquerque as well. So, I've got family in Wisconsin. He's got family in Pennsylvania. Texas is kind of far for everyone, but it's the most central location. Or otherwise, he used to live in the Nashville area. So we were thinking about doing Nashville because that's pretty central, but I don't want to have to plan a wedding when I'm completely out of state either. So it's like.
Well, that is exciting for you.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. What is your favorite movie that you can watch over and over again when it comes on? Do you have one or more than one?
That's a hard question. That I could watch over and over again.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be your favorite. It just be one that you can watch over and over again.
Well, I mean, I'm a pretty big Tim Burton fan. I love Tim Burton movies. He's creepy, but I love his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare Before Christmas. I definitely watch every Halloween and every Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think the one movie that I always go to is like my comfort movie is called Ever After. It's a Cinderella retelling with Drew Barrymore. Yeah. That one's definitely my go-to for watching over and over again if I just need something in the background or if I'm having a bad day. Yeah.
That's awesome. See, now people are getting to know you a little more.
Yes, yeah.
You know she's a Tim Burton fan?
Yeah.
I love that. You're all over the place.
I am.
Apocalyptic, Tim Burton, military.
Yep.
Wisconsin. Forensics.
Yes.
You're a chameleon.
I'm all over the place for sure.
All right. Well, then let me ask you this. Do you have any secret other talents that you like to do or creatives or skills or anything you're into or hobbies even?
I mean, I am into writing a lot. I love to read. If you can't tell from my bookshelf behind me.
I do. I have been spying on the bookshelf. I can't see the titles, but that's all right. And
I love to draw and paint. I actually used to teach paint nights. When I was in Korea with the military, they needed someone on base to teach a class, and I volunteered, and I became their go-to person for like 7 classes, and then I had to go back to the States. So yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So you paint too? Man. Okay. So you write. What kind of writing do you like to do? There's all sorts of writing.
Oh, well, I'm actually working on a screenplay right now.
Screenplay.
I got with, so a friend of mine actually introduced me to it. There's something that the Writers Guild offers to veterans called the Veterans Writing Project. There were like 400 or 500 people that applied and only 45 get in every year. And I got in with a 20-page sample. So and the 20-page sample was based on something that happened in my life. Yeah. So now I'm working on a TV pilot, a 1-hour TV pilot. It's actually a dystopian sci-fi. So yeah.
Pay after team. See, I told you. I told you Cammie Miles was a winner.
I'm really excited to be here.
There is a line from it's Al Pacino, and it's called The Recruit. Mm-hmm. Al Pacino in The Recruit, and he says, "I'm a scary judge of talent." Mm-hmm. I say that humbly because I get lucky, and I don't know if it's luck, but there was just something about you. And I had to go with my gut on this one, so I'll give God the credit on this one, not me. But you're here, and we're excited to have you here. I mean that. Everything you're telling me is just I have such joy because I don't know. None of us know. Yeah. None of us know anything, really. We're all pretending. We're all actors behind being actors. But, when you casting for people, you get a certain things. You get the audition, you get the Zoom meetings, you get the collaborate, and then you go with your feeling on who's the best, and then you make that decision, and you hope you made the right decision. With you, I feel like I made the right decision, and I don't have any regrets.
Oh, so thank you so much. That means
I'm
so
excited.
Much.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't true. Mm-hmm. And so you said you had 2 cats and a dog? Or 2 dogs and a cat?
Yes, yep.
I'm a dog person. Mm-hmm. What kind of dogs you got?
So we have my fiance's dog is a Husky Boxer mix, and I have a Dalmatian.
Ooh, yes. That's interesting. Wow, yep. Do they get along great?
They do. At first, they like with any new animal, they're going to take some time to acclimate, but now they can't be separated. They're actually sleeping on the couch right next to each other right now. So yeah.
Same with my little guy. He's just a terrier mix, but we couldn't afford to have a bigger dog, or else we would go crazy. I think the bigger they are, the more they get in your way and under your feet, and I didn't want that. No, I love dogs. I've had lots of dogs growing up.
In Wisconsin, we grew up on a farm, so I've had all kinds of animals. So
Speaking of that, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother. Yep.
Okay. And does he do anything creative at all? Like you?
He actually does. He's a video game. He does a lot of streaming stuff on Twitch, and he enters in competitions. And him and his tournament buddies, they usually do fairly well, and they usually split like the prizes and stuff. So he's kind of like a semi-professional gamer. Yeah.
I used to play all the time until my kids got better than me. And I'm like, hey guys, I got to. Really, it's just because they got better than me.
Right? Oh, man.
Victoria Butke, who is playing Wendy in the After series, is I just had an interview with her, and she's got a lot of hidden talents. And one of them is she's got a little following on Twitch.
Nice.
And she's kind of a gamer, and she's not like an obsessed gamer, but that she's done it for a while and just kind of kept doing it. And I think that's kind of cool.
Nice.
All different creatives. So
nice.
Well, I will ask you one more fun question. If you were to act in a scene with any Hollywood actor on the After series, who would it be? Anybody at all? They have to be alive today, but actor or actress?
I feel like it's obvious if I say Jennifer Lawrence, so I probably won't say that. But I also would.
Why not?
I mean, I think she's awesome. I think she's has a really fun personality in all the interviews I see her in. She's super sarcastic and just goes with the flow, and I love it. Yeah.
Is that your answer?
I'll say that. My second would be Emily Blunt. I really like her stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's my favorite actress right now.
Really? Yay.
Yeah, I grew up watching Charlize Theron, and I love Charlize Theron.
Nice.
In my younger years. But that I think, I don't know, Charlize just hasn't done a whole lot of stuff lately. She's done a few things that I really like, but Emily Blunt came up, and it seemed like everything I seen her in, that Tom Cruise one, it was Edge of Darkness, Edge of Tomorrow or something like that.
I can't remember.
Live, Die, Repeat. There's like two nicknames.
Yeah.
And then The Quiet Place, of course, and then she got into Sicario, and I'm like, man. And I love Emily Blunt. I do. And I just watched Free Guy. Is it Free Guy? No, Fall Guy.
Fall Guy, yeah.
Watched the Fall Guy, and that was pretty good. But man, you hit a nerve there with me. I really like Emily Blunt. And my daughter does too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would just be an honor to just be able to share like a scene with her. I would be in awe the entire time. I would be professional, of course, but fangirling behind everything.
I'd have to be selfish and be in that scene with you.
Yes. Let's do it.
I'll give you all the lines. I just want to be the door guy or something. I don't care.
Okay. Even if I'm just like in the background, I'd be happy. So
now, have you seen some of the actors on actors? See the spin there? Have you ever seen any of those actors on actors with Emily Blunt? She's done a few of those.
I've seen a couple of them. It's like a weird thing that I like to do. I like to watch interviews with celebrities.
No, it's not. I sit and watch thousands of them all the time. I watch the round tables. That's a true actor, right? Don't you want to learn from your...
Absolutely.
Yeah, you believe it or not, I talked to a lot of actors. They don't do that. They don't watch movies. I've seen actors that don't watch movies or TV. Are you one of those? Oh, I probably should.
Oh no, I definitely watch. Okay. I watch something almost every day. So
I give my peers a lot of crap for that. I'm like, I don't watch TV. I'm always working. I'm like, yeah, but you're an actor. You gotta love story, right? Don't you like to watch story too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess we're all built differently. Some of the Hollywood actors don't even like watching themselves. They just do their job and leave. I've heard that. I think Donald Sutherland was one of those guys that didn't like to see himself. He just put himself out there. Yeah, but I like some of those. I like the Jennifer Lawrence ones. I actually learned some cool stuff. Actually, I got some confidence from her because she was doing an interview on the Round Table one time, and she was talking about how because she didn't come up, like a bunch of schooling and all that stuff.
Yeah, that I really like about her too.
Yeah. And I use her as an example a lot, among many others, that there's a lot of actors that just kind of had it in them. They didn't go to acting school or grow up school, you know, all that stuff that you should take there's nothing wrong with acting classes. And I wish I had taken acting classes a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But with her, I love that she was saying that she gets embarrassed when she's rehearsing. And she's like, I get embarrassed. She's like, I'm not even, you know, it's different for her, you know, than when she's on set. And I used to feel that, like, I don't like rehearsing. Like, it's kind of weird. Now I don't care. But there is something different about it when you're just rehearsing lines and you're warming up and then getting on set and you hear action transform in your mind. But I love that about her, that she was just very honest and vulnerable in real life, like us. And, you know, wasn't trying to pretend to be something she's not. And I love that about her. She's very raw.
Yeah, I really appreciate people like that. Another person that I highly respect for that exact same thing is Keanu Reeves, because he's just so like humble with everything. He takes the subway still. Like, I mean, what kind of an actor does that at his stage, you know? It's amazing. Yeah.
You need to meet my daughter, Mariah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody you're mentioning is all her favorite people. Keanu Reeves is her favorite actor,
Nice.
and Emily Blunt is her favorite actress.
Nice.
And as a little side story, so I made a joke a couple years back. I said, how can I become your hero? I want to be your hero, Mariah. I was messing with her. She goes, I tell you what, Dad. She goes, if you get Keanu Reeves in one of your movies, you will be my hero. So I said, oh, wait, hold on. I pulled out my phone and we were chuckling. And I said, hey, I want you to say that again. And she goes, if you get Keanu Reeves to be in one of your movies, you'll be my hero, Dad. And I saved it. So if I ever run across that man, I'm going to send it to him.
Heck yeah.
Keanu, I need a cameo, brother. I need a cameo. My daughter's kidding, but she loves Keanu.
Yeah.
We go to the theater and watch all the John Wick movies when they come out. And little father-daughter bonding. Because we're martial art fans and we've done that together. So
nice.
All right. Last but not least, well, you get the last word. Is there anything that you would like to say? Maybe anything I didn't ask you, or something that you'd just like to share, or just want to give you the last words before we close out. Anything at all?
I mean, really, I'm just extremely excited and just humbled, because I took a big risk doing what I did. Not very many people can admit that they were going to do it. And so if there's anyone out there that, you know, has always dreamed of doing this, it's important to know that you are the biggest gamble that you can ever make. And what I mean by that is you have to be able to gamble on yourself, because not everyone will. Not everyone's going to be in your corner. You have to be able to be that person for yourself. And it's hard, but if you can do it and you just keep pushing, you just keep moving through all that mud, eventually you're going to end up getting out of that big mud pile and you're going to be running on the green grass. And it just takes time, but it takes effort too. So, yeah.
Man, you are so wise already. I love that. We'll have to talk more about that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Cammie, I appreciate you jumping on, and I'm excited to work with you. And I think everybody's getting a little itchy, but I appreciate you guys for being patient, and we're excited to have you on.
Awesome. Well, I'm very, very thrilled as well. So thank you so much for everything.
Good. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Actors on After. And until I see you in the next video, God bless you.